Hi everyone, this is Elena of the Witches Box, and I'm here today with another episode of WitchBooktube. And today we're going to be talking about another Anousen Leonte book called The Magic of Color and Light. As always, for those of you maybe who haven't been watching, we have been covering books by Anousen Leonte for about a month and a half, almost probably 2 months now. And we've got another couple months to go because he's got 20 books out there and I'm trying to make my way through all of them. I keep saying that I'm going to switch it up and offer up another video on another book, but I'm just so into these. So at some point I'll catch up and I'll share other books with you. For now, what you need to know about these books is that they are all digital. They are all but one available through Amazon. Links to where you can get these books are always below, as well as links to the other reviews that I've done for all the other books that I've read of his so far. Again, if you've been reading along, please share with me your thoughts, because I'm really, as all of you already know, I'm super excited about finding these books and the information that you can find in these books. So share your thoughts with me. I want to also give a couple more housekeeping details. We have a community board available here on our YouTube channel, so if you click on that, I haven't really used it a lot, but I've posted a couple of things on there. If you have questions or comments or anything, or you want to discuss things with each other, you can certainly participate there on the community board here on our YouTube channel. And I'd also like to invite you to please subscribe and ring the bell so that you get notifications when these videos come up. That's it. Let's get into the book. Color and Light. So this book, off the bat, I gave it 4 stars because as most, if not all of his books are just so full of information that goes well beyond the intermediate and advanced practitioner. I think that this is really applicable, really important information that so many of the books out there on witchcraft are just lacking. I just got another shipment of books and we need to get past the beginner books, people. If you are a writer and you're out there and you're watching this video and you're a witch and you are about to embark on writing another book about witchcraft, for the love of all things magic and soul, please don't write a beginner book. We have too many. These books are an example of really concrete, accessible, and deep information on the heart of spell magic. And we don't need a 101 anymore. We just don't. And these books are a great example of giving us information that can move us well beyond the beginner level. And I think it's so important for so many people. Anousen Leonte talks about something that he's referenced in other of his books already that those of you who have been reading along have seen. And I think that I've actually spoken about it in one of the videos where when setting up a ritual, he talks about the importance or the use of, at least for him, of colored lamps, where he will not only just have, let's say, a sigil for a specific intention that uses the energy of Jupiter, but he'll also have a colored lamp that is a correspondence to Jupiter and the energetics of that. Sometimes he'll bring in an element, sometimes he'll bring in other things, but there's always this layering of associations that he uses because, and this is something he talks about in this book, because it accesses parts of our subconscious mind. It's all about the subconscious mind when it's about aligning intention that's conscious with how we're going to move in the world that's subconscious. Different colors are corresponding to different things, and he works a lot with planetary magic, with zodiac magic. He works a lot with angelic energetics, and he talks about those correspondences here. But for him, and he talks about this, setting up a sacred space to create ritual in, right, it's a ritual in and of itself, and the more we tend to our altars and the more we tend to our setup for our spell work, it's like our brain and our soul and ourselves begin to kind of sink deeper and deeper into a trance or meditative state that is conducive to the ritual work, right? He suggests that color lamps are a great way of doing this even further or more potently. So if you have a ritual that you're going to create, that you're going to perform, you've set up your altar and your space, if you turn off the lights and you just leave a light on that has a color correspondence to something that you're going to be working on, that helps bring you deeper into that space, into that thinking, into that trance, so that the work that you do is more powerful. Does that make sense? So that you're in that much more alignment. So he will bring you through several different ways of creating different colored lamps, either through painting lamps, buying like those little fun craft hurricane lanterns that you can buy like at Michael's or whatever that, you know, you can put like a little tea light in, painting the glass and having several different lanterns like that with painted glass for different work, use of fabric, use of boards. He will talk and walk you through different ways of creating it for yourself in a way that's accessible and not super expensive, which is great. Then he will share in this book with you about different types of meditation that you can do with different colors. He gives you, I didn't count, I want to say about 7 different correspondence lists with different colors. So the different colors that correspond with the different planetary energies, different colors that correspond with different elemental energies, with zodiac energies as opposed to planetary. That gives you an example, but you get quite a lot of correspondence lists. And then of course, because as is the way of chaos magic, he encourages you to begin to create associations of color and energy yourself for you, because those are going to be the most powerful. And then of course, because each one of these books discusses a whole other way of using sigils. He talks about using sigils as a way to meditate with color and learning the different energetic vibrations of those colors. Come on, you know what I'm saying? Come on. It's just fantastic. I feel like I look forward to every one of these books because what I love so many things, but one of the things that I'm loving is that because you're kind of getting this information in super small bite-sized chunks, because really, it doesn't take you more than 30 to 40 minutes ever to read any one of these books. I feel like it's a weaving of information, and I'm getting a new layer and a new layer, and I keep weaving it into like the broader picture of how to use these different elements in my magic. And it's really very, very, it's just rich. It's a very rich bit of information that I really enjoy. And even though they're small bite-sized chunks, it is just so full of information that, I mean, I've gone back and read several of them over and over again just simply because it's easy to remember when you have such a potent bit of information in such a small size, right? You learn something that's really powerful, that's intermediate to advanced, and because you just got it in a small chunk, it's easier to remember, it's easier to integrate, and then you can move on to the next thing, and then you're integrating something else, and it just stays with you, as opposed to something that I have wished for, which is that he would have written one big tome. If I would have read one big tome of all of this information, it just would have been harder to really integrate and digest. Does that make sense? So I appreciate now something that I didn't before, which is that we're getting it in these small bite-sized chunks. I really appreciate that. I gave this book a 4 on Goodreads simply because, again, it's just really good, valuable information that takes you beyond the beginning levels of anything in magic. And I would recommend it. I personally, by the way, I have not used colored lamps in my ritual work at all. For me, just turning off all the lights and having candlelight tends to really be a very potent trigger to like sink me into the space. And I also really respond pretty quickly and pretty powerfully to specific types of music. So those 2 tools for me work. They just work really well. It's what I've been working with from the very, very beginning. But that is not to say that I wouldn't want to experiment with this or try, because another layer that can help you dive deeper into those, what I like to call the in-between spaces of ritual, I think can be incredibly helpful and incredibly exciting to experiment with. So there's that. I would love to hear what you thought. I think some of you have already read this book. I want to know what you thought about that. Are you working with colored lamps? What does that look like for you? Has it affected your ritual work? Share. I want to know. Some quick announcements before I close out the video. As you know, the book subscription has been launched, and we are in the process of having open registration and open subscription. So down below there will be a link for the Witches Book subscription. Please subscribe. Our first books will go out October 1st, and I am so excited about it, I can't tell you. I've actually already planned out, I think, the first 7 months, because books, I can't stand it. So down below is a link to the book subscription. And the book subscription, for those of you who don't know, is you get 2 witchy books a month that are about intermediate to advanced witchcraft. It's not beginner at all. However, if you are a beginner, still subscribe, because this is like the juice of witchcraft. It's not the Witchcraft 101 book that there are literally hundreds of out there and that you already own. You don't need another beginner book. This book subscription is about the meat and the heart of witchcraft. So you want to be part of this. You get 2 books a month. You get access to the private forum so that we can talk about what we're learning about the books throughout the month. And there is a live gathering online at the end of each month so that we can talk about the books, kind of book club style, and then also kind of begin to weave together this community, as well as on occasion we're going to have some guest appearances by the authors themselves so that we can ask the author questions about the books that they wrote and anything else that comes up. So this is going to be an exciting subscription that I've been dreaming about this for probably since before the beginning of the Witches box, but because I just hadn't gotten it all together, it's now finally happening, and I can't wait till it starts. October 1st, the books go out, so subscribe now so you don't miss out, and the link to that will be below. Also, please subscribe to this channel. You can click the red button below and the bell so that whenever a new video comes out, you get a notification. And that's it. Talk to me about the book below. Talk to me about whatever you want below in the comment section. And we also have our community section. So there you go. Have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.